The topic of this brief video is how to enter the Stevie Awards for Sales and Customer Service. Our agenda will be what the Stevie Awards are and their history, the schedule for the 2012 edition of the Stevie Awards for Sales and Customer Service, how to review and select categories, how to prepare and submit your entries, how the judging process works, and some best practices we recommend that you follow. The Stevie Awards for Sales and Customer Service is one of 4 Stevie Awards competitions. 3 of the 4, including the Stevie Awards for Sales and Customer Service, are open to all organizations and individuals worldwide. And when I say all organizations, I mean public and private, large and small, for-profit and non-profit. The other 3 competitions are the International Business Awards, which typically receives entries from organizations in more than 50 nations, the American Business Awards, which is the only one of the 4 that's only open to organizations in the USA, and the Stevie Awards for Women in Business. The Stevie Awards for Sales and Customer Service is the youngest of the 4 competitions. The 2012 edition will be the 6th annual. The Stevie Award trophy is common to all 4 competitions, and it's made by the same organization that makes the Oscar, the Emmy, and other major trophies. Like all of our programs, the Stevie Awards for Sales and Customer Service is web-centric, meaning that just about everything happens on the website. At the Stevie Awards for Sales and Customer Service website, which you'll find at stevieawards.com/sales, you can request an entry kit, which will be fulfilled to you by email. You can submit your entries. You can pay your entry fees if appropriate, and all of the judging takes place online as well. So we invite you to explore stevieawards.com/sales. Here's the schedule for the 2012 edition of the Stevie Awards for Sales and Customer Service. There's an early bird entry deadline of October 12, 2011. Entries submitted through that date are discounted by $25. The following entry deadline is November 18th. And if you miss both of those deadlines, don't fret. There is a late entry deadline of January 10th, 2012. Entries submitted after November 18th will be charged a $35 per entry late fee, but late entries will not be penalized in any way in the judging process. The preliminary round of judging, which will determine the finalists, will begin right after the November 18th deadline. Finalists will be notified on January 18th and then publicly announced on January 19th. And the 6th annual awards dinner will take place in late February in Las Vegas. The date and setting to be determined. And this video has been recorded on September 27, 2011. 2012 awards eligibility for the Stevie Awards for Sales and Customer Service is open to all organizations and individuals worldwide. And the 2012 edition of the awards will recognize achievements since the start of July 2010. That means your nominations really focus on the nominee's achievements since the beginning of July 2010. And nominee is a term we use loosely. It can be applied to an individual, to an entire organization, or even to a new product or service, depending on the category. So what's new for 2012? Well, the big news is that to mark the 10th anniversary of the founding of the Stevie Awards organization in 2002, we're introducing silver and bronze Stevie Award trophies in 2012. If you're at all familiar with the Stevie Awards, in all of our programs we've only had a gold Stevie Award in each category, and every other nomination was a runner-up, and depending on the competition received a finalist certificate or distinguished honorary medal. Well, finalist certificates and distinguished honorary medals go away in 2012, and all finalist nominations will win either a Stevie, a gold Stevie, a silver Stevie, or a bronze Stevie. So how to enter? Well, the first step is to get and read the entry kit, and you can request it on the website. You'll see a short form here on the Stevie Awards for Sales and Customer Service homepage. There's also a longer version of the form that you can click to. Now, the advantage of receiving the entry kit is it does point to relevant resources on the website. It explains how to submit your entries through the website. And one of the big changes for 2012 is that we will no longer accept entries submitted offline. You have to submit your entries through the website beginning with the 2012 edition of the awards. And again, let's take a look at that entry kit. Not very complicated, but it does summarize the entire process. The entry requirements are fairly standard across all the categories. Most categories require that you write a case study or an essay of up to 500 words describing the nominee's accomplishments since the beginning of July 2010. You'll have an opportunity to upload to our server links to supporting documents, websites, videos, images, other materials that support your case. And you're required to provide a brief biography of the nominee or the leader of the nominated team, department, or organization. There are different types of categories. There are individual categories, such as Sales Executive of the Year or Customer Service Manager of the Year. There are categories for entire departments and for individual teams, such as Government Sales Team of the Year, Online Sales Team of the Year, Call Center of the Year, up to 100 seats or over 100 seats, and so on. There are special achievement categories for both sales and customer service. There are a range of new categories recognizing products or services that are intended to aid sales and customer service professionals. There are categories to recognize the achievements of solution providers who work with sales and customer service professionals. And there are a range of new categories this year. And you can find them on the page that's linked to from the entry kit called What's New and Different for 2012. There's a list of new categories right there. One of the benefits of submitting a nomination to one of the Customer Service Department of the Year categories is that if your nomination is a finalist, you have an opportunity to win 2 awards. In addition to possibly winning a Stevie Award as voted on by one of your peers, your nomination will also be automatically included in the People's Choice Stevie Awards for Favorite Customer Service. And that'll be a worldwide public vote in which the general public will get to vote for their favorite providers of customer service. And as a finalist nominee in this category, or one of these customer service categories, you'll have the opportunity to encourage your fans, followers, and customers to vote for you, and we'll give you tools to help you do that. The entry fees are either $200 or $375, depending on the category, and those fees are discounted by $25 if you submit your entry before October 13th. And again, after November 18th, you can add a $35 late fee to those entry fees. So how to choose categories? That's a very important function. If you were to call us or email us and ask us what categories we think you should submit your nominations in, we would ask you 2 questions. What do you want to be recognized for? And do you want to win a Stevie in any category or in specific categories? So those are 2 things to think about as you sort through the list of categories and decide which categories you'd like to enter. And what we would recommend you do is once you narrow down the list of categories to those you think you'd like to enter, send us an email at help@stevieawards.com and we'll give you some feedback on those categories. So once you've chosen your categories and you've written your entries for those categories, we recommend that you follow, and only then, do you go to the next step, which is to register on the website to create an entry submission account. Now again, we recommend that you don't go to the second step until after you've written your entries, because what you should be doing at this point is basically just creating an entry submission account and then submitting your already written entries through that account. And if you've already written your entries, this process and the submission process should take no more than 5 to 10 minutes. A little bit about how the judging process works. I mentioned earlier there are 2 phases, preliminary and final. The preliminary judging is performed each year by 75 to 100 volunteers. And anyone can volunteer by filling out the application form on the website. And not everyone who applies is accepted, but if you are accepted as a preliminary judge, we do assign categories to you based on your experience and your function. It is possible to be both an entrant and a judge, since we do have the ability to assign to you only categories in which your organization has not submitted nominations. All preliminary judges are reviewed and approved by Stevie Awards staff. Preliminary judging, again, will take place from November 19th and through mid-January. It will all be conducted online. Preliminary judges' average scores determine the finalists, And all judges, including all preliminary judges, are acknowledged on the Stevie Awards for Sales and Customer Service website and in the awards dinner program. And here, for example, is the list of people who participated in the preliminary round of judging for the 2011 edition of the awards. Final judging will take place after finalists are announced in mid-January 2012, and final judges are invited, and it's our tradition to invite the prior year's judges to be among the final judges for the next edition. So many of the final judges for the 2012 edition of the awards will be from among last year's Stevie Award winners, or I should say this year's Stevie Award winners, and that final judging will take place in late January. Some best practices that we recommend you follow as you think about the categories you'd like to enter and you write your entries. First, we published the full text of most of the past Stevie Award winning entries on the website. So we recommend that you read them because they're good examples of nominations that judges scored highly. And the way to find those is on the website is to click on the awards and then to click on honorees. And the first page that will come up will be the 2011 honorees. And if you look on the left-hand side under in this section, you'll find prior year's honorees as well. So if you scroll down and look at any of the Stevie Award winners, you can click on the title of the entry and you can read the entire entry. Here, for example, is the nomination of Rick Cameron of Glass House Technologies, who was voted National VP of Sales of the Year in 2011. We do encourage you to ask questions. Again, the email address we prefer that you write to is help@stevieawards.com. Ask as many questions as you'd like. We're here to help. We want to see you do well. Since entries are text-based, it's important to tell your story well. If you don't write well, we recommend that you hire a consultant or recruit someone else in your organization who does write well to write the entries for you. Write your entries before submitting them online so that you have a permanent record of them. We do recommend, if you can afford it, to enter multiple categories. It's a good hedge. We never know from year to year which category is going to be the most popular. It's to your advantage to be in categories that are less popular if they make sense for you, and we'll help you figure out what those categories are. Do specify your correct industry and organization side when you register, when you do create that entry submission account, because that's very important. In some categories, we'll often break up the finalists by industry or by organization size and give multiple awards. So it's important to specify those correctly. We recommend that you keep up to date with our weekly email newsletter or our Twitter feed for information about entry deadline extensions, new categories, and so on. Here's our email address and phone number. You can email us anytime, day or night, or call us. We're usually here 9 to 5 East Coast time in the USA, and we'd be happy to help. So we hope you find this video helpful, and we look forward to reviewing your entries in this year's Stevie Awards for Sales and Customer Service.